Welcome back to another episode of the RADelaide Summit podcast. This week's episode, we cover Sir Dad Cash, aka Pilot Cashy, is absent. Our guest, Sir Dingle of Pickleberry, to talk all things off-road, where are Adelaide's best gravel and mountain bike routes, to go to segments, the loops and the racing, and of course more. Come along for the ride.
Ruby opens up. Heyman is back. It's time to do the business.
If you're new to the podcast and haven't listened before, each week we scour the Strava leaderboards, watching you do your efforts up Norton Summit and discuss them here in the pod, whether you like it or not. There's a chance we might shame you. We promise not to name you personally, and the odds are high we will probably shame ourselves because two of us are not as fast as you this week.
I am.
Look, at the end of the day, our goal is to encourage and celebrate everyone going up Adelaide's best hill climb, Norton Summit, and reaching their own goals. So with that, let's introduce ourselves. We are your Summiteers. Wang.
G'day.
Sir Dingle of Pickleberry.
G'day.
Hi, and I am Alex. Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners, to another RADelaide Summit podcast.
Okay, as always, we need to know what's been happening on and around the summit this week. Alex, still on
I
holidays?
have done fuck all.
Cool, you've been a little bit sick.
Of course, I
Pass
have
it on to me.
holidays and I get sick, which is you could just write that plan. So I'm on the back end of that now. All I did was like Wednesday night echelon at very low power. I did 60k beach loop yesterday and got frustrated and just worked on the house.
That's it.
That is literally my whole week. So
How's the
back
house
to
coming
work
along?
tomorrow. It's getting close. I reckon I'll be painting next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, bring your fucking pillow and your toothbrush.
yes. Can we share one?
No,
You let me
we
share one.
cannot.
Yes, and we're
So
having
yeah, that is me. A boring, shit, frustrating week.
not good.
Hold up the fort, please.
Back to work tomorrow.
Yep.
Very good, very good. Well, much the same for me this week. So Monday, got out on the road in the morning. Had a was supposed to be at work, but had a 3-hour. Supposed to be doing some online learning that I'd already completed. So
Out of hours. The company man.
went out on the road for 3 hours instead. So and then just a Zwift after work. Oh, lunchtime, sorry. And then Nate had basketball on Monday night, and then footy training after that. So it was a jam-packed day. Tuesday, didn't get out on the road at all, so just a triple Zwift. Wednesday, just before work and lunch Zwift. And then did a hop after work with Nick. He's back on the bike, so got him back out. So
Training for.
it's just on my program, just training. So what did I get in? I think I got in 802 this week. I think I was with 805 with 22 hours. So
Nice.
Thursday another triple Zwift. Friday same deal, triple Zwift. Then had Nate footy on Friday night game under lights.
Yep. We win?
No, and it was probably Nate's fault actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this where the corky came from?
No, he got the corky last week for any of my followers. He got the corky last week. It was a massive one, but
Bruiser.
was about maybe a minute to go, and Modbury had kicked a goal to bring him back within a few points, and it was a contentious goal. It looked like it got touched off the boot. So, and I know it's hard to believe, but Nate arced up. Who would have thought, being my son?
Not being your son.
Yeah, he arced up and arced up at the umpire and gave the umpire a bit of a serve. I know, once again, hard to believe. And then the umpire gave Modbury a free kick in the goal
no.
straight after another
Yeah.
free kick in the goal square. Boom, goal. I didn't score in under 11s, but I'm pretty sure they lost. But lesson learnt, hopefully for Nate. So. But there was, after that game, there was a older age group, under 16s, played Titra Gully versus Hope Valley.
Yep.
And I got a message. I went home and Nate stayed there with Nicole to watch the game. And I got a message from Nate. He goes, someone just ran on the field and tried to stab a Titra Gully player. I was like, what are you talking about, mate? And he's like, a Hope Valley player that got suspended last week run on the field and punched a player in the back of the head and then tried to stab another one.
Oh my gosh. This
And I was like,
kid's football.
fuck? He's under 16, so he's possibly 15 years old. And apparently fell over and dropped the knife and then picked it up and then cut his own hand.
Oh,
And then citizen arrest, and they waited for the cops. And the
Wow.
cops arrested him. And then I found out today that last year he was on home D. So, and didn't play any footy last year. So obviously a good kid. This kid from Mate Valley, so not something you expect on a Friday night happening under 16 footy. So
Sport action is great, isn't it?
unreal. I couldn't believe it. So yesterday, just did the Supers bunch. Not too many people around yesterday with everyone down at Mount Gambier. So just did the Supers bunch. And then today, just as Zwift this morning, then Nate, he was in for under 12, so he played today down at Port Districts, Largs Bay, so they did take the win. And then did an Arvo hop with the real Chamois this afternoon.
So that's an amazing week, as always. But knowing the guests we were having on this week, you didn't want to have a dabble off-road, so we had some comparatives.
No. Was there any off-road? No, there was definitely no gravel.
No gravel on Zwift.
No, I don't
Little
like that.
lap through the jungle.
The jungle.
little
I hate that circuit.
Got a little gravel rash on his,
Yeah, I got
bottom
gravel.
of his chin.
Got pash rash from Alex. No, I actually hate the jungle circuit on Zwift as well. So it's just shit. So my bike gets dirty on there too.
Nice.
So all on road this week.
Yeah. All right, so Dingle, what have you been up to?
I am deep in the hole of being about to leave the country for 5 months in a week. So I did.
Just as it starts raining.
Cram
Yeah,
training.
just as it starts raining. So Monday was a bit of an admin day. Just rode to work and back, which was nice. Tuesday, the classic 4 Nortons before work. And then off to work.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I had the really great idea of trying to do 300 Ks.
You put this in the group chat and you didn't get a very positive response, did you?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Look, there weren't many willing
Does anyone want to do
volunteers.
Chop and then Victor? Everyone's
Yeah.
like,
What?
no.
So
No.
shout out to Max and Russell who did join me for some of it.
Yep.
It was nice to have some company on the way to Victor.
Would have
and
been a
back.
long day without it.
It was a big day.
So you did get the 300 though?
Yeah, got
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Fell short of the distance of my next race, which is a bit hard to swallow because I was riding for 10 hours on the road.
Yeah.
What bait did you stop at Port Elliot Bakery?
Yeah, we did a little
Yeah.
Port Elliot Bakery.
Yeah.
No line,
Oh,
otherwise.
beautiful.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
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 Otherwise, you wouldn't bother. But
No.
good with
Yeah.
no lime.
What was the donut of the month?
Caramel Biscoff.
Okay.
Bit generic, I think.
I reckon they've done that to death, that one.
Yeah, Biscoff. I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a bit played out these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Agreed.
Yeah. Thursday was gym and a spin. And Friday was just a couple of hours of zone 2. Then mountain bike yesterday, and today raced the mountain bike. Ended up being 6.5 hours by the time I rode to the race. Raced the 4 hours. Won a race, which was nice. Got the monkey off my back for the year. And then just rode home. So 26 hours for the week on the bike.
Big week.
How many Ks?
725.
Nice. Comparable.
Bit of off-road action.
Yeah. So a little bit slower average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
nearly
Zwift,
10,000
the
metres
Zwift
of
pumps
climbing.
my average up.
Yeah, unless you go in the jungle.
Yeah,
Then
true.
it drops rapidly.
I know.
And apart from that, yeah, just getting organised to go overseas.
Yeah.
Right. That's amazing. So we will get into that, but what are you doing overseas? What's the first race?
First race is Unbound. So starting off with big one, 200 miles. Last year, it was pretty memorable with the mud about 30 minutes into the race that ended up being pretty decisive.
Yep.
The Euro mud that they speak of?
Yes. Also the 5K trail run that they didn't speak of. So that was, I think I was second last in elite men coming out of the mud after losing a shoe temporarily, all my tools, all my spares.
Yeah.
And just having a bit of a time of it. And then rode back through about 60 people, I think.
Oh, right.
But that was, a bit of a day out. So hopefully this year it's a little bit...
And that's in the States, isn't it?
Yeah, Kansas.
Okay. Kansas
So,
City.
very flat. Well, just sort of endless rollers.
Okay.
So you do 3,000 metres of climbing across the race, but you wouldn't notice.
You wouldn't know it.
Yeah, death
Okay.
by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
And, 1,000 sidewall cuts.
Yeah. That's freaking amazing. All right, so tell us, how did you get into cycling and the pathway to where you are now?
So I had a bit of a, I guess, probably different route through cycling compared to a lot of people in the sort of road and gravel space. I started racing downhill on the mountain bike at the start of high school. and did that pretty much all the way through until I started uni. And then basically my mum said, look, you're 19 now. I'm not going to drive you up and down a hill on Saturday morning anymore. Yeah, it's time to grow up. I'm not spending my Saturdays doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And then a good mate of mine, Paddy, got me into road cycling, which did that for a couple of years. Started racing crits, had fun. Then started racing cross, took that quite seriously for a couple of years. Then pretty much just sort of fell into gravel, really.
Yep.
Went away to Victoria to do a cross race that had a gravel race the day after, and figured why not do both, make the trip worthwhile, and then just sort of fell in love with racing gravel. It's, yeah, really nice.
And it's
Sort of
really
quite a
much
different
there.
route through, I think. And I think that helps me still, just with sort of being able to get the bike loose and let it slide around. The confidence translates, but the tyre
Yeah.
the tyre strength doesn't.
Just quickly for the listeners, what would you say the biggest differences between cross and gravel is?
I was just going to ask that. Good question.
Probably the bikes are quite different, even though like I started racing gravel on a cross bike. The setups are quite different. I run pretty much a road setup.
Gravel bike.
Yeah, so compared to my cross bike, my setup's longer, lower, narrower bars,
Yep.
much bigger gears, bigger tyres. I guess tubulars versus tubeless would be a big one as well. And then the format's just quite different. So racing cross is kind of like doing a crit in reverse. The start's super hard, and then it's like 30-30s till failure. Hold on for as long as you can.
And I guess with CX, you've got there's a lot more running in CX as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of running.
obstacles.
Yep, you have to get off the bike and hop the barriers. Not that there's no running involved in gravel.
No.
And it's a bit more of a controlled, inverted commas, controlled environment.
Yep.
So gravel races, you'll tend to just be out in the wild
Yep.
for multiple hours.
Okay.
And you sort of have to self-navigate. There's no pits. You have to look after yourself. If you're lucky, you get a feed zone.
Yep. Whereas CX is normally on short circuit.
Yeah, short circuit.
Yeah.
Tech zone. And cross is much more spectator friendly.
Okay.
But anyone with a gravel bike, I would suggest racing some cross because it gets you very used to riding the bike in twisty stuff and letting the bike move underneath you. It's very good for your skills. Yeah.
conditions
And even for roadies, it's, I think, really good for skills and just being punchy.
Yeah.
Sweet. Speaking of punchy, how fast have you punched yourself up Norton Summit?
We discussed this and then I forgot instantly.
I think it was a 12 something.
Yeah, I think it's in the 12s. It was from back in the day when I used to have a road bike because I haven't really bothered having one for the last couple of years. Let's fact check it.
12:53.
12:53.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I reckon it was.
Yeah,
Solid.
back in 2021,
2021.
back in the heady days.
Yeah.
So
very
young
solid
and full of hope,
So
full of ambition and hope.
What would you say to date, greatest achievement or best day on the bike?
Probably the best day. Well, a hard day, but probably the most memorable day was last year. I did a fastest known time in the Kimman Trail. So that's a bike packing route.
Yep.
From Kapunda down to Wollonga. And I decided I rode it with also a podcast guest.
Kodak moment.
Kodak moment. Yeah, and I sort of joked, why don't we just finish it? Like, it's only 120 Ks to go. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
How was his reaction to that?
Yeah, not positive.
I can almost see his face actually.
Yeah.
No, you didn't just say
It was dark. It was dark by this point. I was like, let's just finish it off. Like, then we don't have to do anything tomorrow. So I then got held accountable to it.
Yeah.
And 6 a.m. start, but did 11 hours, 28 minutes and 34 seconds
That's wild.
elapsed.
Yep.
I think I spent about 8 minutes standing still all day with the 2 bakery stops,
Yep.
getting through about 1,000 gates.
Wow.
And the hiker bike section, which Kidman Trail is fairly famous for.
Yep.
But that's, a memorable
How far
day.
was that?
260 Ks.
Jesus.
6,100 metres of climbing.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And it's a horse trail.
Right.
So it's designed for horse riders, and horses are a bit more capable off-road. than the old push bike. So there's some sections where you just look at it and you go, I have to get up that.
Out.
And you just sort of go hiking for a bit.
Yeah, I like it.
But it's a really fun trail. Anyone who's considering going bike packing, it's a really nice introduction without having to commit to something like the Mawson.
Yep.
I did it with Kodak Moment in 2 days, and it's just 2 nice days of riding. Like you ride all day, but it's just a nice way to do it.
You just tent it overnight, do you? Or do you...
We were lucky. He's got relatives on the course, so we
nice.
had kitchen, beds. It's pretty cushy.
Even better.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sweet. What about the worst day on the bike then?
The worst day on the bike, surprisingly not Unbound last year, as discussed.
So yeah, that'd be up there.
Probably it's almost 2 days, so they roll into one, but Leadville 100 and SBT gravel last year, so they were a week apart. I woke up the morning of Leadville having slept at 3,000 metres and felt drunk from hypoxia, and then battled through that, got that day done, had a horrible ride. I just no watts, no heart rate, just couldn't go hard at all. And then tried to back it up the weekend after with SBT gravel, having not recovered at all. The whole week between every time I touched the bike, I wanted to throw up. And then got into SBT, got caught out in an early split, was trying to bridge across, almost got there, and then just threw up all over myself.
Oh, geez.
It was tough couple of weeks. No, I just phoned it in. I was like, rode back to the finish, licked my wounds,
Licked your vomit.
Spent the next day throwing up when I was meant to be packing. And then dragged myself to Denver Airport, got on a flight to Spain, had a blood test when I landed, and just had no iron. Amongst a couple of other issues. So hot tip for anyone who's going to go live at altitude for 3 months.
Just take a few steaks.
Take a little bit of iron with you.
Yeah, crazy.
Now, favourite bike, whether it's one that you've had or a dream build or one that you could get on?
That's a tough one because I've had all the bikes. My favourite bike at the moment is my Orbea Katu.
Yep.
It's an e-commuter. It's fantastic. We're talking 20-inch wheels, Bosch motor, frame-mounted front rack, fenders, lights.
How do you spell that? Kata.
Katu.
K-A-T-U-E.
It's so much fun. Just like you get on it and just rip around. I've had all the bikes. I've had downhill bikes. I've had enduro bikes. I've had
That's cool.
gravel bikes, road bikes, lightweight rim brake bikes, aero bikes.
Yeah.
But I have never had anything like that before.
20-inch e-bike.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. It does really good power wheelies.
I was going to say, take it to the escape.
Yeah.
Almost.
How far's the commute to work?
So I'm working down by the coast, so about half an hour on the bike.
Okay. Yep.
I normally have been doing it after training recently. So the Katu hasn't seen a lot of love. But it has been doing a lot of miles under my fiance.
Yep.
She's really been enjoying it as well.
Nice.
But best bike.
It probably doesn't have a really crazy group set on it, but what would be your favourite group set?
Well, I think I'm contractually obligated to say Shimano. I've been lucky enough to be supported by Shimano this year. And it's been quite nice coming back to it.
Yep.
I forgot just how good DR2 is. It's like you do 30,000 Ks on the bike and you just sort of touch the B screw every now and then if you change the cassette.
Yep.
And it just keeps working
Just keeps
relentlessly.
working.
Yeah. So I'm on 12-speed Ultegra on the gravel bike at the moment as well.
Okay.
And just super reliable. I can run a 52-36, no
And
issues.
just run a long cage trailer, do they?
Yeah,
Or-
and just a longer cage. The longer of the two options with an 11 or 34.
Yep.
All the gears you could ever need. You still have the top end. I can, I can road ride on it, no problem.
Yeah.
And just sort of the perfect do everything group set.
So you just change your wheels out on that when you come on the bunches. When we've
Yeah,
done
so I've just got a
bunches together.
set of wheels with road tyres and a set of wheels with gravel tyres.
Yeah, awesome.
That's what I've done for the last couple of years. I haven't owned a road bike
Yep.
for the last couple of years.
Smash it still.
Little two birds, one stone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'll just say the biggest changes moving into the pro ranks are, I guess, in the gravel CX scene.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing you notice pretty much straight away is just the depth of the fields. So you go from racing 10 really strong guys to 100,
Yep.
which you just is a bit different. You're fighting for position a lot more. The US racing is all really long. So most gravel races in Australia are sort of 4 to 5 hours, which are long enough.
Yeah.
But then the distances stay the same, but they measure in miles.
Yeah.
So you go from racing 120 Ks to 120 miles.
30 miles. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just really fast.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Like racing Gravel Worlds last year, even though I punched it in the first 20 minutes and was just riding by myself angry.
Yeah.
Like the first 20 minutes of that race was like the hardest, fastest crit I've ever done.
Yeah.
And you're just like bombing it down these tiny Italian farm roads, like cutting whatever corners you could.
Was that the same? I reckon that was the same weekend as Wallaroo Super Series.
It is, yeah. The real Gravel World
Yeah,
Champs,
we
Copper Coast
in
Cup.
the-
We were trying to
in the
watch
chat,
it.
yeah.
Because I was up there with Paddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Saying, oh, yeah, Birdie's racing CX tonight. And we were
Yeah.
trying to get the coverage to watch it.
It's why haven't been able to do Copper Coast the last couple of years. It's my
'cause-
favourite race. And this year I can't do it either. It clashes again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'd really like the Cadena circuit.
I know.
Yeah, you would have loved it.
I'm thinking 35 mil, like semi-slick gravel tyres, and I'll just harass the road, just bomb all the corners.
I had 32 mil.
Yeah.
And it didn't help me.
Like 30s, didn't help me. I'll punch it.
I didn't get a puncher. I just couldn't see.
Yeah. That's a bit of a terrifying thing in the big
Yeah.
bunches. It's
And
just
especially when people are getting dropped like every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Just come out of the dust.
yeah.
Just like ping, and then
Yeah.
rocks are just going ping, ping, ping. I'm going to
Yeah.
lose my
There was
front
no way I
teeth.
was finishing that race regardless. It didn't matter what was going on.
He lasted longer than me.
Pure blind faith.
Of course. The man in the relationship. All right. What do you love to eat pre-ride? Are you a breakfast person?
Pre-ride, I'm a breakfast person.
Yep.
I just do oats on a normal day.
We should start a bit of tally because Oats has been
I think Oats is up on
right
Wheat Bix
there
at the
just on
moment.
Weet-Bix,
Wheat Bix suck. Like, with respect.
Righto.
Wheat Bix are really good if you want to be like needing a second breakfast in like an hour or two.
Yeah. Okay.
They just don't. They're just
Just
like
don't feel you.
nah.
No.
And then you're hungry again, and you
Yeah.
have to eat 100 of them. They're expensive. If you want to taste like anything,
I
you
do.
put
I do 8.
How many-
or
you do
7,
8?
Yeah.
I do
just like
4 with
$8 worth of Wheat Bix.
yeah. just
Like, oats are cheap, man.
Maybe I could do Wheat Bix and Oats.
Yeah, I don't know how much podcast paying you, but I can't afford. I cannot be doing Wheat Bix on this
You get
budget.
the Coles brand Wheat Bix. They taste just the same.
Like
I
cardboard.
know. Bix ones.
Like cardboard.
I don't know. I asked Cider to get me some Sultana brand when he went to the shops a little while ago,
The Sultana
Yeah.
brand's pretty good.
and I'll put that on my Wheat Bix.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
all right.
And he
Little combo.
goes to he goes to Audi.
Okay.
This box came and landed in my cupboard, and it was written brands with Sultana.
Yeah, yeah, Brandon
There was
Sultana.
like 2 Sultanas in this whole box.
Yeah.
I love how
You wanna-
Audi just change their names on that. Like their Red Bulls, the flying horses. That's what they
If you want an Audi cereal tip, get on the Choco Pillows.
Choco.
They're out of control.
Yeah, right.
They're banned from my house. They're like it's like chocolate cereal filled with Nutella.
Oh,
It's out of control.
yum. Okay.
What time do Audi shut?
Yeah,
They shut?
me and my fiance had to stop buying them.
Yeah.
I
You
just
just
I
sit there
just
the whole
I
box.
just sit down, get like a handful out
Yeah,
the box.
no milk.
all good. No milk, all good.
Yeah.
Just get into
I
it.
used to do that with Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Just eat the Fruit Loops.
It's like a Nutrigrain type
Nutrigrain,
deal.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nutrigrain,
Nutrigrain.
pretty good.
Yeah. I actually bought Nutrigrain bars the other day. Nah.
No good.
No, like LCMs or anything like that.
Nah.
No.
Bit hard to eat.
No.
Yeah.
It's because your teeth are getting old, mate.
True.
Yeah, soft teeth. Race day breakfast is a bit different. I go the rice and egg.
Yeah.
The classic.
Yeah, right.
Cyclist
Okay.
on a race day.
Yep.
Yep.
So actual cooked rice.
Yeah, cooked rice.
Egg.
No, I got egg whites.
Egg whites.
Yeah, a bit lower fat, bit easier on the gut,
Okay.
but just enough protein to sort of
Easy
fill
to
you up a
clean off the
bit.
top tube if you vomit.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's at least all one colour.
Yeah. Favorite cheat meal. So Zinger Burger, good or bad?
So I have to confess, I was vegan for 8 years.
Yep.
I've recently had to,
Saw the
because of
light.
the previously mentioned anemia issues, I've had to add a little bit of egg and sort of fish and chicken back into the diet. So I haven't done the KFC yet.
You're not
Okay.
missing out on anything.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid going that sort of real fatty gear.
Prior to the 8 years?
Prior to that, every time I finish a race, I just want to eat chocolate biscuits.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, right.
I always think I need to have I've been eating low res, like white pasta, white rice.
Yeah.
I need to eat some with some fibre in it. I just want chocolate biscuits.
Chocolate biscuits. Just plain chocolate biscuits.
Yeah. There's one am I allowed to mention brand names on the
of
podcast?
course. They might sponsor us. Yeah.
So Leda, Leda, they do like a chocolate, a vegan, so dairy-free, gluten-free
Yep.
choc chip biscuit. And they go so hard.
Yeah, okay. Where do you get it from?
pound through a... you get them Foodland?
Okay.
Foodland do them?
Yeah.
I'll just pound through a packet of them. And then just regret, like instant, after like a day of just sugary mix and gels and then just pound the chocolate biscuits. Pretty rough.
The guts. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like throwing the match on the petrol. But,
So do you eat much meat in your diet now that you're not vegan?
Normally about once a day. So either I'll have like some sardines or some sort of like fish with lunch.
Yep.
Or I'll go chicken, or a little bit of beef in the evening.
Yep. And what was it like going from being vegan for that long over to
I was a fat kid, so I got the iron gut.
Yeah.
I can eat anything.
Yeah.
I can run like 100. The other day I was like, I wonder if I could do 150 grams of carb an hour. Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a client at Echelon, so you do your 45-minute session, and it's obviously high intensity, and he has sardines on toast every time after that.
Really?
Yeah, that's his.
They're really
recovery
good.
meal.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves
Good
it.
fat, like high in all the minerals you want. Heaps of calcium.
I couldn't just...
Nah.
No.
Good sard. You got to get the good sardines.
Okay.
Just the...
Not the Audi side.
Not the Audi one.
No, the Audi one's a bit tough. I would not. Don't back up the Audi on that one.
Yeah, I don't do
You got to go to King Oscars.
Okay.
It's the only way to
Get
go.
all the brands. Do you reckon you could quantify how many times you've unintentionally eaten dirt?
No, too many.
Too many.
Yeah. So when I was racing downhill, crashing's just part of it.
Yeah.
And you get real good at it.
Yeah.
Any significant injuries off the top of that?
So probably my biggest crash has been on the road. So that's, a funny one. When I started racing road, I thought this would be so much safer. And then you realise very quickly that trees are very predictable.
They don't
Cyclists are not. So biggest crash I ever had was on Mount Buninyong, and I hit the road at about 80 k's an hour,
Yep.
and I looked like a Christmas ham,
Yeah, right.
and that was horrible.
That big downhill, and then you turn right on that sharp 90-degree into the uni. At the front
Yes.
end.
Oh, yeah.
That corner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got Constantinaed. So like, yeah,
And that's
it's like a rear end crash on the
chisel
road.
chips on the road.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
come up in conversation yesterday.
Yeah. I lost my bottle on that corner the first lap.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah, but that's probably the biggest crash I've ever had. It was horrible.
I can imagine.
Just like a cheese grater, that road there.
Yeah.
Just rolling to 80 k's.
Yeah.
You don't even have to pedal.
The ARA guys came up to me in the feed zone. Like, was it your bike that flew out the top of the peloton? Yeah, probably.
Whilst I was
And it was like,
down the road.
I had a really good ride in the crit the 2 nights before, which
Yeah.
was like that crit year where it was like wet as.
Oh, that was year Sam on it.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
super slippery.
Yeah.
And I was fine. And then you put me on a dry, straight road. Not
Did
gone
you
well.
lose just shitloads of skin?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
broken bones. Didn't
No.
even hit my head.
Yeah.
But I just had no skin
Would
left.
have been cheese
Yeah.
grated down
Yeah.
there. Oh,
Then I hit a kangaroo a couple of years ago as well.
Okay.
Again on the road.
Yeah.
Dangerous place.
On North Summit?
Yeah, Norton Summit.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Summit.
Yeah, hit a roo, broke my collarbone
Fuck.
and scapula. But we didn't notice my scapula till afterwards.
Okay.
I was like, why's my back so sore?
Yeah, right.
Oh, because your collarbone's in 3 places.
Oh, that'll do it.
3 pieces. Yeah.
And the kangaroo just hopped away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I own rabbits, so I know what it's like to have an animal with a small head, and they're not very clever.
No.
And a kangaroo's just an oversized rabbit.
Yeah, they're not clever at all. Yeah. Now, do you spend more time riding or washing mud off your bike?
So probably about 50-50. When the bike gets muddy, I do like to clean it, but I'm a big, like, just make sure the drivetrain and everything
Yeah.
is sort of
Same
like,
here.
make sure all the important bits are fine and it's not going to
If I get
destroy
time,
anything.
I'll clean it.
Yeah, and then you always got to race a clean bike.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm big, like, just squirt with the hose, dry it
High
out,
pressure
clean the
hose.
drive. Never.
Into the bed.
Never
Never.
high pressure.
Car wash?
Sometimes. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did car wash after 7 last weekend. That was
Yeah.
quite good. You get the hot soap
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not that I try and ride in the rain, but when I do get caught,
When you start going off road, you can go do that.
Yeah.
not a hope.
I bought a mountain bike.
Yeah, I know.
Where were you today?
Well, yes, about that. So are you thinking about maybe a favourite trail around Adelaide, I guess? Do you've got like a designated crash zone on that one?
There is one section. So I haven't crashed there, luckily, because if you did, it would be a big one. There's a trail called Twisted Gum and or Twisted Noodle that goes off sort of the Eastern Hills.
Yep.
And it's just, there's a couple of quite steep switchbacks near the bottom of it where you're just sort of like dropping the bike in, you're off the brakes, and you're sort of hoping that you grip it up at the bottom and you can just fire yourself out the bottom of it into the next one.
Yep.
And every time you get the pucker factor, because like, man, if this goes wrong, it's going to be huge. Hasn't happened yet, but I've done plenty of runs down it for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And it still scares me every time.
I remember, I've never done downhill mountain biking before, but when I was in New Zealand last year, I was in the Queenstown Mountain Bike Park, and I only did like the very, very beginner and the next level up.
Yep.
And I got overconfident in like 2 laps, and I was like, the lady was just telling me that 3 people have been helicoptered out of here in like 10 days.
We'll make
and
that 4.
Here I am, just like, stop it, slow down. Does your bike have a name?
Not yet.
Not yet.
If the podcast listeners want to put it in the comments, I'm open to suggestions. It is a Orbea Terra.
Just I was going to say shout out to you.
Shout out to the sponsor.
Sponsors.
Yep. It's gold. With like
It is a nice bike.
Yes, really nice paint they do. With like a clear, sparkly over the carbon.
Nice.
It's very handsome. But yes, we're taking suggestions on names.
Sweet.
It's still too new. It doesn't have a memorable moment yet.
Put
Yeah,
a poll on social.
Orbea are one of the only companies that do full, I think, on their top line road bikes and probably their CX and gravel bikes. You can choose whatever colour.
Yeah, they'll do full custom for
whatever
you.
colour you want. Yeah.
Yep, they do a really nice job with the paint. My deal came together too late this year, but hopefully next year we'll get there.
Perfect.
Get something custom.
I think we've kind of answered the next question, but what about the terrain? What type of terrain do you find most challenging?
Loose over hard.
Loose over hard?
Any day. Nothing sticks to it if the surface is moving.
Yep.
So you can ride like a 2.5-inch downhill tyre.
Still doesn't matter.
Doesn't stick.
Right.
You can run a 40mm gravel tyre. Doesn't stick. It's all terrifying. That's why I race gravel, because it's all loose over hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's just terrifying stuff.
And how do you prepare physically and mentally for your long rides?
So physically, you just do them.
Yeah.
I have a working theory, that after 5 hours, it all just feels the same.
You said that
As
the
you
other
keep
day.
putting fuel in,
Yeah.
Yep. I'm
fine.
the same.
You can ride forever as long as you keep eating.
Yep.
Mentally, I work in architecture, which means I've studied architecture, which is way harder and takes way more time, and you get way less sleep than you do on any of these long rides. Walk in the park in comparison to architecture school.
Yeah. Very good. Now, just before we go on to the other questions, so you're heading over to Europe Sunday, you said, so this time next week. Do you want to just give us a quick rundown on what your program's going to be?
Yeah, so I head off to the US first,
Yep.
and then hop over to Europe.
Yep.
So I start at Unbound,
Yep.
which will be my first race. It was my first race last year as well.
Yep.
Hopefully it's a bit.
So that's 330k.
Yep.
You said? Yep.
Yeah, about between 320 and 330, depends on the final course.
Yep.
From there, so I land in San Francisco, fly to Kansas and back for that,
Yep.
and then head up to where I'll be based. I'll be living with a teammate in Bend, Oregon, which would be nice. It feels very Adelaide there.
Right.
Good coffee, trees, not at high altitude,
Yeah.
and a really
yeah.
really nice cycling scene.
Yep.
So that'll be nice.
There'll be a few other Aussies over there, will there?
I don't
that
think
area?
so.
No.
No,
So
I'll be
just yourself and your teammate?
pretty much the only Aussie.
Yep.
Token Aussie kangaroo guy. And then, just do a little race nearby, then go into the Oregon Trail gravel grinder,
Yep.
which is a 5-day stage race,
Okay.
which will be, really fun. Did it last year as well. Really
Yep.
good event. Really strong field this year. Guys like Pete Stetner,
Yep.
Ian Boswell. Those are the guys going to be on the start line, so should be.
And what's the
interesting.
format of that?
So it's stage racing. So it's like doing a road stage race.
Okay.
Normally, I haven't seen the format for this year because I haven't released the course yet.
Okay.
Last year was 2 sort of straight up race days,
Yep.
then a TT day. So
I was going to say, do they do TTs as well?
and then a downhill TT,
Yep.
and then finish off with 2 big gravel days.
Okay.
Quite backloaded. From there, I hop on the mountain bike for a couple of weeks. So I'll do Danville Classic, which is a race I read about in a magazine back in 2009. I was like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Do that, and so now I'm doing it.
Yeah, doing it. Yeah.
Then High Cascades 100, which is Leadville's single track cousin. So it's 100 miles a single track.
Yep.
Yeah, big day. My hands are going to be sore off of that one.
Yeah. How many people would enter something like that? Or like,
It's sold out.
yeah, right.
So yeah, as many
makes
as
it, like,
many as I can.
Super hard for
Many as they get on
overtaking
there.
and shit like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because it's so much single track. Whether it's just like raced like an XCO and it's flat out from the gun until it sort of sorts itself out,
Yep.
or whether it's a bit more strategic. But it's going to be a big day. And then pop over to Colorado, race another cross country marathon, and then finish at SBT. Hopefully less vomit this year. And then from there hop over to Europe, race Badlands, which is 800 k's unsupported gravel ultra, which will be something a bit new for me.
Where's that in Europe?
Yeah, so Spain, Granada.
Yep.
So southern Spain.
Yep.
I'm go through phases of being like really excited and like, yeah, this would be cool. And then like, what have I gotten? I can't believe I signed up for this. So that's a bit of a test to see how it goes and what next year might look like based off that.
What would people normally race that like? Like, are they doing it in 2-3 days? They're just going as long as they can,
Sort of like a bit of both.
or like, what's your plan for something like that?
I'm not planning to sleep.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
You're not planning to sleep?
no,
No, just going for it.
just hit it.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't
straight
be able
through.
to sleep in something like that.
Yeah.
either.
Again, I've done architecture school, so I can do like 48 hours no sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I can present a project off the back of that.
Just a few NODOs and nootropics
Yeah.
and away you go.
So and then you just get people who are there to finish it.
Yep.
Which is probably the coolest thing about gravel. On a bit of a tangent, like the sort of mix
The
of
level
like
of-
the people who are there to race and perform,
Yep.
and the people who are just there to like get out, see it, do it,
Yep.
complete it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's really nice. There's been a few races where I've mechanicaled out or like crashed out, and you just sort of hang out in the feed zone and watch people come through.
Yeah.
And it's just a really nice mix of like, it gives a nice bit of perspective. It's not like road where everyone's super serious.
Yeah.
Even the sort of lower grades are like people that race.
Yeah.
It's just like people are just there to do the ride and have a good day with their mates. It's quite nice.
Like it.
Yeah, and then hopefully finish at Gravel Worlds in Belgium because racing a world champs in Belgium would be, I think, pretty
Yeah,
epic.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
So, and do you need to qualify for that?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I could have qualified last weekend at 7,
Right.
but I've got a cracked rib,
Yep.
which made that a bit difficult. Probably not the
So did you have
ideal
to
way
finish
do
in
it.
a top
Just at the-
25% or something?
Yeah,
or?
well, 25% will qualify you for age group, which I'm
Yep.
pretty sure I will have done.
Yeah.
But elite selection is based off criteria, which is yet to be released.
Okay.
But last year I was 4th,
Yep.
and that was enough. This year I was 11th, so I'm not quite sure if it'll be enough.
Okay.
But plenty of races ahead.
I was going to say, is there any other selection events between now and then?
None that are like dedicated.
Yeah.
Sorry. But they do use a bit of discretion. So
Okay.
sort of see where it falls and who applies and what
Yeah.
happens.
And generally, how many riders are there representing Australia in gravel?
We had a fair few last year.
Yep.
I think maybe 8 in elite.
Okay.
But again, that may change. The world champs is so new that it sort of changes year on year.
Yep.
So maybe this year we'll have 4 slots. Who knows?
Okay.
But at least I'll be in Europe, so it's pretty easy. If I want to stick around, I can just hang out in Girona, live the life.
Yeah.
There's a World Cup 2 weeks before the world champs there, which would be a nice little chin-up race, and then hit it, eat some fruits.
I heard in Girona that all the locals are getting sick of the cyclists over there now.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it
They
when
had
I was
a
there.
protest
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago because with all the cyclists being there, they're just pushing up all the rental prices. prices of food, cafes,
Local residents.
So
are
all the
crazy,
local
yeah.
residents.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, makes sense. I've heard Bright's a bit like that in Australia.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
It's now such a desirable place to go that
Yeah,
the locals, like, you can't get stuff for your cafe because they can't afford to live there.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Crazy times. So thinking about one of your crazy longer rides/races, what essential gear have you got on board with you?
Tire plugs
Yep.
are probably the first one. Anyone who's got a gravel bike, tire plugs, invest in a good setup. It'll cost you a bit of money, but it'll make your life so much easier when you're standing on the side of a dirt road, just watching sealant spray everywhere,
Right out, yeah,
and you just stab it, and it's fixed.
yeah, yeah. I've seen him do that.
Yeah, make your life so much easier. Other than that, just carry pump, CO2,
Yep.
multi-tool. Just pretty usual stuff. The bikes are now sort of resilient enough that you don't really need anything you wouldn't need for your road bike. Good tyre sealant makes a world of difference as well.
These are all questions just for me before I go out on the dirt.
Before you get there.
I'll send you the shopping list. I get commission, I'm pretty sure.
And how do you maintain your bike to ensure it's always in top condition?
I have a mechanic.
Okay.
That's So shout out to Wade, my faithful mechanic who's
Yep.
been working with me for probably over 10 years now.
Okay.
Ex-bike shop mechanic, and anything I need just gets done.
Was that Wade that used to be at Contour?
Yeah, formerly of Contour.
Yeah. Okay.
With Tim,
Yeah.
whatever his podcast nickname is.
Baker's done.
Baker's Dozen.
Yeah.
Yes, so I am a bit of a hopeless mechanic.
I was about to ask that question. Can you work on your own bike?
I can work.
Yep.
I can make a bike work,
Yep.
but I can't make a bike work like a professional mechanic can, and that's what I have Wade for.
Yeah, nice. Shout out to Wade. All right. Can you share any tips for someone, me, new to off-road biking?
So, probably the biggest tip is just to do it, and don't be scared.
Oh, I'm not scared.
Um,
Something.
The mountain bike and off-road community is super welcoming.
Yep.
That's probably one of the things I found hardest transitioning from that community to road.
Yep.
In the mountain bike scene and the gravel scene, everyone just wants to help each other.
See,
And,
I
like-
think this petite premium wants to ride bunch. I'm going to ride mountain bike again.
It's super welcoming. Everyone's willing to help you out, give you tips.
Yep.
The racing's approachable.
Not
It's,
like riding with the Wayne here, we just leave
Yes.
us behind.
People half wheel you on the dirt as well? Do people half wheel you in mountain biking?
A little bit. A little bit. The best thing to do on the mountain bike is the tie buzz. You get behind someone, you just tire a little bit.
Yeah. I do that on the road bike.
I did that on the road bike down Mount Buninyong once.
Okay, well.
But yes, just start. Most people are a bit taking the first step's the hardest. Once you take the first step, it's all very easy.
Yeah. Do you want to take this one?
Sure.
I think there's a shout out in the back of this.
How do you navigate and stay safe in remote areas?
Snuggle with Kodak moment.
Yes.
He's a big
James
human.
carries tools
Mace.
to keep me safe.
Yeah.
He will also, funny thing about James, hates sitting on the wheel. Will never sit on the wheel.
Really?
Yeah, you could ride into a block headwind.
Yeah.
He'll just ride next to you. James, you sure you don't want to sit behind me? No.
No.
I do this for fun. I'm not sitting on the wheel. and I quote.
You want me to push you, James? Don't.
Remote areas, I mean, it depends how remote. I never go, honestly, that remote. But I have carried a spot tracker in the past, which is just emergency beacon if you need it, like a Garmin InReach style thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just make sure you got enough water. You're not going anywhere. You know where you're going. That's kind of the big thing.
Half a bottle, that's enough to
Yeah,
last.
one 500 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah, take the second
Slushies
cage
out
off.
in the middle of nowhere.
And what do you use as a GPS?
I use the Hammerhead.
Okay.
So they've just released a new Karoo.
Yes, I did
we
say
have-
that.
Yeah, better battery life, nicer screen, auto brightness.
Yep.
New workout mode's really nice. Really good little unit. The map, the navigation is probably the highlight of it.
Yep.
Really.
Has GP Lama done a review on it as yet?
Ooh, not yet, but
Not
I
yet.
can do one for you.
I'll wait for
You
it.
got questions?
Looks good. I do like the look of it.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice little unit.
Yeah.
The old one was good, and this is just a nice improvement on all the little things that were just a little bit funny about it.
Yeah.
And it runs Android, so you can. I saw someone running Zwift on it the other day.
Yes, I did see that. I reckon it was. I reckon might have been GP Llama or DC Rainmaker,
Yeah.
one of them. But yeah, they run.
Seems like
Zwift
the
on
sort
it.
of thing they would do. But
Yeah.
yeah, just a really good little reliable unit.
Yeah.
Have you come across like any common injuries with regards to like off-road biking versus on-road? And if so, have you prevented them in some way?
In terms of like proper injuries, it's all the same. Like it's just cycling injuries.
Yeah. Repetitive strain type stuff.
Yeah, like that sort of deal.
Yep.
When you're racing, the biggest things that sort of blow out are your hands and your lower back. Off-road racing tends to be quite torquey.
Yep.
So just grunting out,
Yep.
big gear, steep climbs, out of the saddle, pulling on the bike, and then on the mountain bike side of things, when you're racing through rough stuff, your hands just get tired from holding onto the bars.
Yeah.
Preventative, like just do your core.
Yeah. You mentioned gym earlier. Is that
Yeah,
something
so I'll do not so much core in the gym, but I just try and do 5-10 minutes a day.
Yep.
It's sort of just enough to maintain it once you've built it.
Yep.
And then hands, I've just got the old Rocky Balboa hand grips.
Oh yeah.
And if you're bored on the couch, just bang out 100 on each hand. And you get the strong forearms and you can hold on.
Last one.
How has off-road biking impacted your life outside of riding?
So we can take this two directions. We can have the meta conversation about like how cycling is so all-consuming. Like how good you could be at so many other things if you didn't ride your bike 30 hours a week.
Yep.
I mean, it's just cycling. It's off-road biking, on-road biking. It's just an all-consuming sport if you want to do it at a high level. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
I wish I was one of those people who could do bunch on a Wednesday, bunch on a Saturday and win an A-grade crit.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm not.
There's a couple
I'm just
of them out
really good at banging my head against the wall.
Yeah.
Just like relentlessly. But yeah, it's you make sacrifices to do the sport.
Wife to be, is she a rider as well?
No, which is honestly really good.
Okay.
It's, everyone's always like, sure, like she's an interior architecture graduate as well, so she's like,
so she can stay awake forever.
yeah, and everyone's always like, yeah, you guys gonna work together one day? Like, no. But it's really nice. I can have the best day on the bike, the worst day on the bike. She doesn't care. To her, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And it's nice just coming home. Like, I spend so much time thinking about bikes. I need to come home and talk about bikes. Imagine that. What do you think? What do you think of the new Schwalbe Pro 1 TT? Like, oh yeah, it's like 0.2 of a watt faster than the Pro 1. So what are you talking
What are you talking about?
so it's nice to have that disconnect from the sport.
Yeah.
And nice to, just have someone at home who's, happy that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Supports
you.
Is wildly supportive. Like, cannot emphasize it enough that like I'm going away. We're getting married next February, and I'm going away for 6 months this year.
I was going to say, is she coming with you? But
And she's not coming.
I
Like,
think
I'm
we
going
take
solo again.
we take a big shout out away from Wade and send it back to your wife.
Yeah,
to be.
it's honestly like privateering. It's not privateering. It takes a village.
Yeah.
Even though I'm on a team this year, so it's a little bit different. But like, there's no way you could do the sport at a high level without having that network around you, and I think it's super important.
Yeah.
Like, can't emphasize it enough.
Kudos to both of you.
Very good.
Right, what's been happening in the cold parts of the state?
Cold parts. It actually wasn't that cold down there yesterday, but just a quick notable mention: Mount Gambier 100 mile. Apparently, it wasn't 100 mile. They've cut the course a little bit.
Too short for me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it is 150k, so about 94.74 miles.
About.
Yeah, so I did calculate it. So, good friend of the podcast, good friend of mine, Deck the Balls took the win yesterday. Believe he was off of 13 minutes or 16 minutes.
It looked like bunch about 30 had come together, maybe 2
Yeah,
bunches, 3 bunches.
yeah. Let me have a look.
I think second or third place was fastest man overall.
No, second was Jamison Key. He was in that same bunch.
Okay.
Let's have a look. What was he on? Yeah, I think it was 13 minutes he was off. So, but downhill finish. He had the big dog on. He had the 56 on yesterday for the
He was
downhill
there for the
finish,
win.
and he absolutely absolutely smashed him. He probably won by 50 metres in the sprint. So, and that was his 20th Mount Gambier. That was his 20th attempt. So, that he got that. So, shout out to him. Fastest time, I think, went to one of the Victorian guys, come across the border and took fastest time. So you have a funny story about
I have a
Deck
funny
the Balls.
Deck the Balls handicap story.
Yeah.
So in my younger heady days, when I was still very green to racing on the road, I went to, as you all do, the Berry handicap.
Oh, yeah. He loves that too.
Yeah. Who amongst us? Who amongst us does not?
Yeah.
And I was on block, I think.
Yeah.
And, you're rolling turns. You're sort of getting on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this guy sitting on? Like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to back him off. I'm going to back this guy off. And so I did it to him twice.
Yeah.
And I got about the reaction you would expect.
Oh, well, I can imagine.
And then I afterwards like, who's this guy? Like, I don't know anyone in the Racing Road.
Yeah.
You did what? You did what to him? Crazy.
Yeah.
I think my Olympic dream died that day.
So, yeah, just, Warney winner, 21 times finisher. So, yeah. Very proud. I knew he was on last week at Chop. He was moving well. He's best I've seen him go for a long time. So, shout out. And
Congrats.
Michelle, his wife, and both the boys are up there as well, so they were able to witness it. So, very good weekend. And he didn't race the Camise today. So,
He's just celebrating.
he said he told me during the week, I'm not racing the Camise if I win.
Yep.
So,
Love it.
I was like, good on you. So,
That's awesome. All right, let's jump into it. The main reason why we exist. Let's see who else has been spinning up the summit this week and check out the times of the folks who've been giving us a show. It might be the fast guys, might be the slow ones, it may be everyone in between, but like we said, we will dive into their rides and data a little more robustly, and we'll see who and what has caught my eyes this week on the leaderboard with some hand-picked times for fun and analysis. Mr. Dingle of Pickleberry, you have the fastest man and woman for the week.
It pains me to say this.
I know. Every time it comes up,
I think
it should be.
Can we drop the mic out?
I reckon. Yeah. We'll just
So technical issue on the women's side. We had Kevin 07 rolling quite a quick 17:18, about a minute and a half off the PB, and almost cracked the 1,000 on the VAM. So that's moving, I think. But no power meter, no heart rate.
Power, no data.
Wouldn't get up on Zwift power.
no.
But still a very solid performance. And the news you've all been waiting for. And I'm sorry to bring this to you. But the Colossal Wang took the fastest time on the men's side with a 12:51, which is, not bad. But,
though?
Yeah, good.
Cracked the 400,
Good watts. 400 average. 408 average. Let's not undersell it.
Yep.
But the bad news is, minute 28 off the PB. What happened?
That
Everything
PB was behind
everything
the
okay?
speed,
Yeah, that was a motor pace PB.
So about 30 seconds slower for the actual PB.
My non-assisted
Non-assisted
PB is
PB, yeah.
at 11:40.
But 173 beats per minute.
Mini heart
bad.
attack,
Fighting some form of man flu.
possibly.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
spew at the top?
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. I think I saw you on the side of the road. That's why the heart rate was so high, Alex.
I was not there.
Got my heart rate high. So that was with the real chamois.
Yeah.
He was. I tried to
That
get
was with the real. Was that Supers?
Nah, that was on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, let's do a Norton Monty leap," and I was like, "Dude, we didn't leave my house till 4:30." And I was like, "It gets dark at 5:30." He says, "No, it's all right." We got to the top of Norton. He's like, "Oh, it's getting dark quick," and I was like, "I told you." so coming down Monty was a little bit slow. So.
Yeah. You've got the men's this week.
Do you have the
Mr.
men's
Wayne?
bracket? So,
How good is the spreadsheet looking?
yes, very good. I can read all of them. There's like ride links and everything if you're listening, Sir Dad Cash.
He's on an airplane somewhere.
Yeah, he'll have his Wi-Fi on. He might be
will,
listening.
he'll be listening.
So, all right, so
New to
coming...
the pod, this one.
Is he?
Yeah. And
Yeah. Okay. He's got a rapid PB. So this little kid, PB of 12:41. So yesterday he did a 13:16. This was on supers, on my wheel the whole way.
yeah.
And he did try to
Go for the
sprint me
sprint.
at the top of the segment, the little shit. And I accelerated, didn't even get out of the seat, accelerated in
You
the
just
seat.
raise one eyebrow and you go, come on, mate.
Rolled back over the top of him. So, and actually the next one, the chonk had a bit of I could hear him giggling back there. So, and I was like, I knew he was going to do that. Anyway, he's rolled a 13-16 yesterday, and he rolled straight back down. He didn't even know it was coming on the whole ride of supers, so he might have been a bit cooked after that. Next we have...
Didn't even give the listeners his name.
Oh, sorry. Brewski with Drewski. Sorry. Then we have coming up next fastest, so third fastest for the week. Another good lad is the Chonk. So once again, PB 12:52, did a 13:16. He was moving well yesterday. He did the whole supers bunch. Average power 338. Yeah, I don't know. That seems a bit low.
That's what was on Strava.
Yeah, because mine was 3 at the same time yesterday was 398. So
maybe you put on a few pounds, buddy.
I might have, but I don't know if he's that much lighter. So, and then we have
this is epic. Like, this is
back.
ridiculous.
He's back. We haven't seen him on the leaderboard for a while. He maybe hasn't been doing any Nortons lately, but he's just a massive watt monster. PB 12:34. He's rolled a 13:48. Just would have been on his way home from work on a Monday night. Generally, he does these ones. Average power 454 watts.
It's got to be close to 500 watts for his PB at 12:34.
Yeah. He's plus 80 kilos.
I'm almost plus 80 kilos.
Okay. So we have
plus 88.
yeah, he's up there. We have Mr. Consistent back on the leaderboard. And then my old buddy, the real Chamoy, got him out of retirement. He'd done a 13:55, fair way off his PB of 11:58.
Did he crack?
Yeah. Correct. On about the second to last switchback. I wanted one more turn from him and he was gone. So, but that's all right. He's been back on the bike for a week, so he's still sub 14s. Hey,
Were you on the TT bike?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why he says.
368 watts, 168 beats. And then lastly, we have Madam Ducks of Quackenbush, PB 13:28. He's run a 14:11. This was on Supers yesterday. He was actually moving pretty well as well. Average watts of 372 and average heart rate of 155.
That's awesome. Yeah, the women this week, because Cashy's not here, I had to do the spreadsheet really quickly, so I just took the top fastest times. But Big Banana has come in.
Back. She was hurting yesterday. She did supers and she was hurting. She's like, a couple of times right up next to me, she's like, this is so much fucking harder than running. What am I doing?
Big Banana with her PB 14:26, did an 18:13 yesterday, 158 beats per minute. Savage Sweet Potato also 18:31. 209 watts and 160 beats per minute. Third place, R2DI2 with an 18:33. She had a 107k day, 218 watts, so she's gone all right. The Fluffer, back at your house afterwards, 21:36 with an 82k day, 186 watts. There's probably a bit more in there. And lastly, for the women, Silly Sausage rolled a 22:15, pretty easy, 136 beats per minute as part of a 55k day. And then I found a handpick. Well, you've got it there.
I've got it written down.
Yeah, new to the pod
Very
also.
prepared.
So we had DN. Oh, sorry.
Not their real name.
Dean there climbed that.
Oh, climbed.
Very, I like that. I
Doing
like
a
that.
25:36.
Bit of a play on words as well.
Yep. So their PB's actually a 25:36. They rolled a 39:51.
So how did you
Some
come about
photos.
this as the handpick? Was it just the slowest time
I
of the
took
week?
the slowest time of the
Okay.
week, yeah. Because there was almost 500 people went up Norton this week. 500 different people.
Good. Well, good weather for it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 499 of them you.
No, I actually didn't go out this week.
You haven't been up since.
No, I have been up a couple of times.
Can't look at it.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it. No, that's awesome. All right, so what's happening in the weather this week, Wang? And who are we sponsored by?
So we'll do a collab again.
We'll
so
do a
sponsored
collab.
by Bikey Wipes and the Wellness League podcast.
Wellness League podcast.
Just to keep Ella happy.
Because the weather's coming in and she'll need an umbrella, Ella?
Yes, she will. Not looking good at all this week. It is headwinds all week. So maybe what we spoke about last week, if you want to have a dab at the downhill comp down Norton, this is the week to do it because it's going to be a tailwind for you. Just take
disclaimer, we're not taking
And look out
any
for
responsibility
and look
for
out for
anyone
kangaroos.
that comes off.
But no tailwinds at all this week. So
However, if you do get a PB into the headwind, let us know.
let us know. Yes, please.
All right, the week and weeks ahead. So, as we mentioned last week, Adelaide Hill Cycling Club, they're doing their She Rides on at Mount Torrens on the 26th of May. You ladies get to meet other women with a shared interest in improving their cycling skills, especially in group riding and on the hilly courses. Get out of your comfort zone by learning some cycling skills enhancements that are specific to you. You can practice applying that knowledge in a focused way in the safety of a small group with 2 accomplished coaches on our beautiful Adelaide Hills courses. As I mentioned last week, one of the ladies also coached at Echelon with me, so she's a lovely lady. She'll show you guys the ropes. You guys can head over and have a coffee afterwards at Adelaide Hills Coffee Shop. And then, Sunday the 26th of May, Inside Line Mountain Bike Club are doing round 2 of the state downhill series at Wollonga. You've done that one? Good course? Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
course. Private property course, you can't ride it outside the race.
No, get shot.
You might hit a cow.
Okay. Port Adelaide Cycling Club are doing Saturday the 25th and Sunday 26th round 1 and 2 of the Cyclocross National Series.
Back at Zombie Park,
Yes,
an iconic South Australian cross venue. I haven't been able to use Sin Stick Epic Mudder
Yep.
of, I think, 2019.
Sweet. And NCC have got Saturday the 1st of June, From's Farm gravel race in Mount Crawford.
From where?
It's From's Farm.
Oh.
From the farm.
From the farm.
Adelaide Hills also Sunday 2nd of June at their Springhead Road Race at Mount Torrens. Oz Cycling are doing general track training at the Superdome on Wednesday the 22nd of May. Oz Cycling and Port Adelaide are doing... Oh, I've done that twice. Look at me go, cyclocross. Oz Cycling Sunday 26th of May, BMX State Series Round 4 at Tea Tree Gully. And lastly, Mount Gambier will kick off their Winter Track Series on Saturday the 1st of June. If you'd like more information, please check out Andrew Goss.
World's easiest.
To navigate.
Very easy. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and all creatures in between. If you've enjoyed yourself, why don't you give us a follow through your favourite podcast app or access all our episodes through YouTube as well. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon, ding, and don't forget to tell all your friends and share it with everyone.
Yep, we're also all over the socials to give you updates, info, let you know when new episodes are out, along with other news and podcast information. If you would also like to support the pod, head to our Buy Me a Coffee page, and if you donate, we'll give you a shout out on the podcast the following week.
Now, we'd love your feedback and to know your thoughts, so hit us up and let's have a chat through our Facebook or Instagram page, or shoot something through to our email, radelaidesummit@gmail.com. And with that, what word in the English language is always spelt wrong?
Have you had to think about this?
No, because I just saw it now.
Any guesses? Any guesses?
Guarantee.
You reckon that's always spelled wrong?
It never looks right.
Any guesses? Any guesses?
No, there's got to be. There's a punchline.
There is. It's wrong.
Fucking hell.
We'll see you on the summit next week.
Ta-da.
Bye.